Maxine Chambers McManaman, a high-ranking TSA official, celebrated the holidays by taking a trip to Jamaica. She posted this picture here and wrote, "Having a blast in Jamaica." Over the years, some of the Chambers family relocated to the UK, while others immigrated to the US, ended up in Brooklyn before moving south to Atlanta in Florida, but her family is from Jamaica. Maxine's parents wanted her to realize the American dream, so she went to college, earned her bachelor and master degrees, joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in grad school, got into an interracial relationship, married him, had a baby girl as soon as possible to rid her offspring of her Black Jamaican identity. However, the relationship didn't last, and her ex-husband had no problem ditching masculine Maxine to find a more feminine woman in South Florida. Even as a divorced woman, Maxine tried her best to hold on to her ex-husband's family and their identity, refusing to drop their last name and attempting to still be a part of the family, claiming his family members as her own, while barely acknowledging her own Jamaican-American family, and not only neglecting but also taking advantage of her own Black mother. Maxine, a woman who was given the authority to tell travelers going through the busiest airport in the world if they're right or wrong, is now being judged herself. That's after she was arrested at the same airport she worked at on a daily basis. Yes, Miss aka TSA Federal Security Director came back from having a blast in Jamaica just days after Christmas and was stopped by her own people in her department at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. Maxine was taken into custody by U.S. Customs and Border Protection and had to be shipped down to Florida after an investigation uncovered shocking details about the director that involved her mother, father, and her brother. A family feud spilling into national headlines. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
New details tonight in the arrest of a high-ranking TSA official picked up by authorities at the Atlanta airport last month. Maxine McManaman had been serving as the Assistant Federal Security Director at Hartsfield-Jackson.
Now she's being held in the Clayton County Jail. The Fox 5i team spent the day. The Fox 5i team has the latest.
A few days after Christmas, Maxine McManaman stepped off an international flight at the same airport where she works in security, only to be detained by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. But while it all sounds like high-level intrigue, we found the allegations boil down to a nasty family squabble.
Before I go inside your bag, anything sharp?
For years, Maxine McManaman helped keep the skies safe, overseeing the screening of airline passengers. She served with the U.S. Transportation Security Administration for 21 years, almost since the TSA's inception after 9/11. But on December 28th, a fall from grace, as she herself was detained by federal law enforcement officials. A far cry from posting on Facebook about having a blast in Jamaica just a day earlier. According to her father, she was returning from a vacation there. TSA officials would only say yesterday that the charges were, quote, non-work related, and out of St. Lucie County, Florida, north of West Palm Beach. So what could have the Assistant Federal Security Director for the world's busiest airport detained at her own airport, now sitting in the Clayton County Jail without bond, charged as a fugitive from justice? The Fox 5i team has learned an accusation by her own brother.
She is accused of forging a quitclaim deed where she had signed a document basically conveying a property belonging to a family member over to her and her father that had also been arrested for the same thing.
According to this narrative from an affidavit by Port St. Lucie Police Department Detective Bucata, police believe McManaman and her father, Delroy Chambers Sr., filed an illegal property deed in order to finagle this Florida home out from under her brother, Delroy Chambers Jr. of Atlanta. The home had been owned in the mother's name alone. The police affidavit says that in 2010, the mother signed documents giving her son, Delroy Chambers Jr., power of attorney. Chambers Jr. told police that since then, their mother has been suffering from dementia, and that their father, Chambers Sr., has been abusing her and exploiting her, and having her sign documents, and failing to properly take care of her, resulting in her admission to a hospital multiple times. But police say a major line was crossed in December 2022, when McManaman and Delroy Chambers Sr. signed this quitclaim deed, placing the home in their names.
Going, behind the owner's back and saying that they are and forging a document as if he had given them the home is a crime. Their intent was to pass it off as if it was legal, which it was not.
According to Port St. Lucie police records, a detective spoke to McManaman about all of this in April. She said she had power of attorney. Police not buying it. In a phone conversation, Delroy Chambers Sr., who was 80, told Fox 5 Atlanta, quote, "It's a family thing," saying his daughter was only trying to protect him from losing the home. As for his son, he asked, quote, "How can you do this to your sister?" For his part in the case, Delroy Chambers Sr. was arrested in December and charged with 2 counts of exploitation of an elderly or disabled adult, 2 counts of forgery, and simple neglect of an elderly or disabled adult. He bonded out of the St. Lucie County Jail. Now, according to TSA, McManaman is currently on leave pending an investigation. She's also incarcerated awaiting extradition to Florida. As for her mother, according to the detective, she's now in an assisted living facility in South Florida. I'm Johnny Edwards, Fox 5 News.
After being hauled off to the Clayton County Jail, Maxine the mortgage forger had to be extradited down to Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's where police opened an investigation back in spring of 2023 after her brother reported Maxine and their father. The investigator went back over a decade, pulling up old reports, hospital records, records at the pharmacy, and what they found was not only shocking, but criminal. The brother told authorities that the father had a younger woman living in the house and said that woman was his mistress. Also, over the years, the brother made several reports to different agencies claiming his father wasn't feeding his mother properly, would leave her home alone sometimes, and wasn't taking care of her. Hospital records backed up the poor care, and pharmacy records showed the father would even pick up his own medicine but neglected to pick up his wife's medication from the same location. Maxine denied her brother's allegations and told police their father did not have a mistress. She also said if her brother had a problem, he should have moved their mother to a facility near him in Atlanta. Maxine is also in Atlanta, her mother and father in Port St. Lucie. Now, she can deny all that, but what she cannot deny is her signature all over county documents trying to steal property. The shady and criminal part with Maxine is she tried to establish herself as the power of attorney in court, but a judge threw it out. That's because the mother gave her brother the authority over 15 years ago before their mother got sick. Maxine is only the backup if something happened to her brother. The father, a Jamaican immigrant, said his son is wrong for doing this to his sister and said he was only trying to take his house away from him. Others may also argue that the sister is wrong for doing this to her brother and her mother. It sounds like she's going against what her mother wanted, and she's been instructing their father as the mastermind behind all of this, getting the paperwork signed, notarized, doctored up, and that's why both of them are now in trouble, Maxine and her father. If it's true what the brother is saying, the father is wrong for having a mistress up in there. The dad is 80 years old. So whoever this lady is, allegedly, she's trying to hang on to see what she can take from him and his wife. And then the sister, she's trying to make sure the brother isn't in control when obviously it's a reason why the mother gave the authority to her son and not the daughter. Another problem. Why are the kids fighting over the house when the dad is still alive? Did the parents not have this house together? When, why, and how did the mother get the house in her name solely? It's very weird that the dad's name wasn't on the house already. And if it was previously on the house, how did the mother get his name off the house? It's all very weird, very shady. The dad's name should already be on the house. There should not be an argument between the dad and the daughter and the son. One thing you cannot debate is that forging documents in order to get your name on a deed, that's against the law. So the sister and father, they're out of order there for sure. A top TSA boss chick official, she's out here getting arrested on her day off, fresh from her vacation, then had to take a trip to a Georgia jail before jetting over to another jail in Florida and charged with being a whole fraud. Tell me what you think about this below. Shout out to Tiffany B and Gail at Night. I appreciate you ladies for all of your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.